All right, in this course lecture, if we say let's see that today, tomorrow, this month, and the last day, the course will close early. In these 3 days, I want everyone to benefit. The first part is that some people don't have any suffering. When they come to practice, they see practice as a good thing and come to it. Some people may have suffering in their hearts, whether small or large, minor or major. It depends on various factors. The second part is when we understand how suffering arises, whether we are suffering or not, then we look at how to find the way out. What did the Buddha realize? The most important thing is right here. And I will show and point out that the wisdom of the Buddha's enlightenment or Buddhism might not be what we think and understand. It is beyond what humans can conceive. It surpasses everyone's thinking. I am merely fulfilling the role of explaining to create understanding. I will start with a story that I have always used. It's a simple story, but it helps people understand easily. There was a woman. Go to Kopalwai, that is, I am at the center. She went there to practice meditation. And then she sat and cried. She was criticized by someone at home. She asked to see me and then sat crying. I asked her what was wrong, and she said, someone at home criticized her. It was about her coming to practice meditation. I asked if someone from home came with her. She said no. The person at home criticized her for coming here sweetly, and this morning she set out on her journey. And then she sat crying. I asked again if someone from home came with her. She said no. The person at home criticized her yesterday about coming to practice meditation today. If no one from home came, it means that you're crying right now. Is not because of the person at home. It's because of your own mind, thinking about what people said about you yesterday, because they didn't come with you. If they had come and were sitting there, I could understand. But they didn't come, and yet you are sitting here crying. It's because your mind is replaying past images. And you are suffering from what is happening in your own mind. And then you sit and cry. But you blame the person at home, saying they are the reason for your suffering. So they remain silent. Then I asked, why don't you continue crying for a little while longer? Because you sit with your head down. Do you know why you stopped crying? Because your mind stopped. Your suffering is not just about the story playing in your mind. But there is a natural tendency, due to ignorance, to cling to the story playing in your mind. This is what causes us to suffer. If letting go of attachment, even if thoughts still exist, is not wrong. We do not suffer because of thoughts. And we don't need to stop thinking either. All suffering comes from attachment. If we have ever chanted, we would have heard the phrase that the 5 aggregates are subject to clinging. Suffering does not come from thoughts, nor from external stories, but all suffering arises within our own minds because of ignorance. The heart focuses only on this. The wisdom of the Buddha's enlightenment, or the path to liberation from suffering, begins here. But everyone looks at the world and feels that if someone criticizes us, the person who criticizes us makes us suffer. We all see this image. So trying to escape suffering by seeking comfort, it can be done, but only slightly. However, the root cause of it, the true root of all suffering, never disappears. It will resurface again every time we recall it. We tend to think that what we remember as thoughts makes us suffer, but in truth, in terms of Dhamma, it's merely called Sankhara Khanda, mental formations, which naturally arises and ceases. But the problem is the attachment to these aggregates, and it's not just us holding on to them. There's an inherent ignorance that clings to them. All right, if we gradually understand, we will clearly see that, to put it simply, the suffering that arises, I ask all of you, where does suffering arise? I believe 100%, whether Westerners or Thais, everyone would answer the same. Suffering arises in the mind. If we say that suffering arises in the mind, then let's deal with it. If it's just a little bit, it can be managed. But if someone is deeply troubled by something, it seems like it can't be untangled, and it appears impossible. Suppose, for instance, everyone can think of this scenario. You go to the doctor, and the doctor says you have cancer. It would be like, oh no, what am I going to do? What about my family? It becomes overwhelming. Our mind becomes completely chaotic. I ask, are you suffering now? Yes, you're suffering and sad. Oh my, the doctor says you have no more than 2 months left. In Buddhism, arises in mind. It comes out easily. Yes, it's easy to say. Now we know that staying is not just about wanting to let go, and it happens. Suppose, all right, never mind if it doesn't last, it might be a minute, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes. Soon it comes back again. The thoughts return. Therefore, if we see that everything starts arising in the mind, it's because of what? And why do we say that this is our mind, yet we can't manage it? There is one way. Here, what I'm talking about connects to what I said about knowledge. That even if you sit and listen to me and say, oh, I understand, that woman is like this. And then, once the image forms in your mind, you cling to these things. It's all knowledge. This is all knowledge, and you cannot escape suffering through just listening. Suppose we are suffering. Someone criticizes us, and we get angry. We return to being aware of our breath. Once we become aware of our breath, we will see that our mind gradually calms down. We have managed to alleviate our suffering, making it lighter, and gradually easing it. If we say that suffering arises in the mind, there is a way to enter and reach that mind. It relies on a gateway. To pass through to our mind is the breath. We may have been aware of the breath and meditating for a long time, but I will tell you this. If everyone closes their eyes and follows the breath, breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly, comfortably and relaxingly. I will ask you to observe a bit more. As I mentioned, we don't have much time. If I were to let you observe on your own, it might take months or years. So remember this. In this world, everything in this world, nothing can bring anyone down unless it is because of our own mind. No matter if a loved one passes away, if a business fails, or whatever happens in life, whether you lose a leg or have cancer anywhere, it cannot make anyone suffer unless we let it affect us personally. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose someone gets up to open the door while you are calm and then slams the door shut. Do you believe that you might be affected, right? Or what does this mean? The sound of the door opening and closing disturbs the peace of it disturbs our peace and tranquility. When that sound hits, it gets pulled in and becomes part of our mind. Just that sound hitting can cause turmoil inside us. Various reasons and thoughts will arise in our mind. It sounds good, but let me ask simply, is everything correct? With just the sound of the door? Just suppose, if you open your eyes and know who is coming in and out, who has a bladder infection. If I have to wait another 5 minutes, I definitely have to go to the hospital. Oh, really? Don't worry about it later. See, the pressing pain just vanished. The reasons disappeared and turned into compassion. But what just happened? Why did it have to be suffering? Therefore, all of human suffering comes entirely from one's own mind. There's nothing else. Now, if we start to understand the truth, it becomes a bit easier to focus. The sound hits immediately. We will see that if we are aware of our breathing and our room is clean, let's call it a room for simplicity. If it's clean, bright, and peaceful, there's nothing there. But after a while, when the sound hits with a bang, the brightness from earlier starts to turn gray, becoming murky. Then we start to create someone in our mind, someone opening and closing the door. And we become dissatisfied in this room. Suppose you're meditating. Let's change the example a bit. You meditate, and after a while, do your legs start to hurt? The longer it goes on, the more it hurts. Why? If I say, don't move until I give the signal, it's been an hour already. 2 hours maybe? Is the teacher still here? Deep down, once you go out, everything becomes chaotic. Your legs hurt and your heart feels pressured. But the teacher says, don't move, don't open your eyes. So where does the suffering in your heart come from? We hear the whole story in our minds completely. The more reasons you have, the more suffering you experience. See? So is it really suffering because of the leg pain? It doesn't seem quite right anymore. It's like someone with cancer, oh dear, and then I have it too. Oh, I'm suffering so much. How about you, Bear? I'm not suffering. Cancer is in the body, not in the mind. But those who suffer take cancer into their minds, you see. Even though the mind isn't cancerous, it gets affected. No matter what happens in the world, there's no way to suffer unless we pull that matter into our minds. And the entry of all things in the world comes through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and then from our own mind. It comes from our own mind, creating stories and suffering by itself, brewing and consuming it alone. There's no need to involve anyone else. It takes and consumes by itself. It can even consume the past, like the story I told you about that woman who was criticized yesterday and sat crying because she was told, "Why are you practicing meditation?" And she felt sad. When asked why she was sad, she said, "Because they criticized me yesterday." Oh, and are they here now? No, they aren't. So what's left is that she brews it herself, consumes it herself, talks to herself, cries by herself, and blames others, saying, "They criticized me." If we understand everything, we will start to feel that if that's the case, if we manage it simply by keeping our hearts intact, suffering will be much harder to arise. But that's not the path to understanding suffering as the Buddha realized. But I'm trying to make it clear first that all of this is centralized and comes through here. Then it creates this room. All right, so for now, we'll take a break here for the first part.